everybody. Welcome back to another edition of Coffee, Community, and Cocktails. I'm your host, Angela McFarland. Today, I am extremely excited to be featuring one of my favorite people. Bobby Pirylis from, Sidearm, Octane, Fosterchild. Did you play on Featherborn?
Not on that record, no.
Not on that record. He plays with Calico Sparks from time to time. He plays with Mike Greer from time to time. What I would really like to make this really kind of pop is if you could just hold this like this the entire interview.
Like this?
No.
This is perfect. Wait, Danny just playing peekaboo here?
That was more for Stiver because I'm starting a new segment.
We just got 7 new listeners.
Yeah, we did.
From that on.
We did. I'm starting a new segment, Ask My Guest. You were the first one that I've ever done this. So I put out a thing to see if anybody had any questions. The first person to ask a question was Joe Stiver.
Okay.
And he wanted to know what it feels like to be, I don't think he used the word inferior, but I feel like that's where he was going to the vice man. Yeah. How's that feel?
It's tough, man.
Is it?
It's like, we talked about this actually before we went on about like when you brought up the whole thing about Danny is, the drummer always gets asked where the singer is. So
I will always.
In Danny's case, I don't even know if people ask me where the singer was, or just like where's the hot dude in the front of the stage that emanates complete greatness.
He's perfection personified.
Oh, without doubt.
Not just aesthetically pleasing, but the melody.
There's people that are on this planet that were placed here to make everyone else feel
inferior.
Insignificant. And Danny's one of those people. He's legitimately, he can't ever do any wrong.
No.
He's never made a mistake in his entire life. One of the greatest things that I feel like he ever did in his life is when he asked me to play drums in Fosterchild. Was I thought, a very good move on his part.
So we're making it about you?
No, I'm just saying. I'm saying he makes very good decisions, and sometimes he's made that was a decision that he made that I thought was
very good decision.
And maybe a couple other people thought it.
Very good decision. We're just breaking stones. I'm just teasing Bobby. He knows.
Love you, Danny.
Yeah, we all love you, Danny. I guess the other question is, how do you not get lost in Brian Quinn's dreamy eyes all the time, sharing a stage with him?
And we talked about all this off camera. I mean,
again, I'm just teasing. I'm a total fangirl for 2 of his bandmates.
And, it took a lot of pressure off of me having both of those guys in the band because, I didn't feel like I had as much attention as I'm used to getting and stuff like that. Being a heartthrob in my own right.
Well, without a doubt. You've got dimples for days.
Oh, my God.
Dimples you could swim in.
I don't even know how I land the woman that I have.
I have
no idea.
I told you a long time ago you outkicked your coverage with that one.
She had LASIK, so it's not even like you could blame it on the vision thing. I mean, and she had LASIK before I met her, so it wasn't, she had those seen, but
yeah. So just teasing. So Bobby is one of the premier drummers in this area. He's renowned with multiple bands. He's sort of the drummer that all other drummers look at with their mouth agape. My favorite
Who
ever.
wrote this, Jason?
I did.
Oh.
I can be nice to you.
Okay.
Carly is writing me a check, I think. But my favorite is one time when we were at, it may have been Peppers, which we will be going to after this, and Mike Nat's watching you. And Mike Nat is a world-renowned drummer in his own right, the Tramps for 25 years, records, the whole bit. Mm-hmm. But he's watching you. I don't even remember what song it was, and I looked at him, and he goes, F it, I quit. I'm never playing again after this, which was hysterical. But you really are revered as an exemplary drummer to, within the tri-state area. I don't know about other places. I don't know how people in, Michigan feel about you, but I'm sure if they knew you, they would love you.
I would hope that they would.
Yeah. Yeah. So
well, thank you.
You are a professional musician. This is your job, right? You don't hold a regular 9 to 5 office
this
job.
month I probably needed 4 other jobs. Great this month.
Well, and that's, that's the thing, right? So, and the reason I bring that up is, in addition to the fact that you are a professional musician and this is your job, you are also incredibly philanthropic and incredibly charitable. Yeah. So when you are somebody who does this for a living and then you do benefits for people, right?
Yeah.
You're not being compensated. So it's not like you're just making a donation of a couple dollars, right? You're donating your whole mind, body, soul, spirit, and maybe part of your water bill that month. And I think that that's a very important thing that I want to kind of talk about with you, because that's one of the things that attracted me to. I'm always attracted to people that are, well, sarcastic, first of all, which you've got that, Spades.
Definitely.
Obviously, I enjoy our banter, but your soul, your heart, you wear it on your sleeve. And, when I first kind of heard of you was actually through our mutual friend Rosalie, because you were doing work at Ronald McDonald House. Mm-hmm. So what were you doing there? Because that's a week-long process, right?
So Joe was doing this in the beginning. When he first started doing it, he approached me about wanting to get me involved. And the first year it didn't work out for me, but the second year it did. And what I was able to do there was, I actually had a foundation called the Merrick Foundation, which has, they raise money and they have a fund that they use for children-oriented things that involve kids. They sponsor a child that had brain cancer that needed special apparatus, things like that. So the lady that runs that, Terry Merrick, is a friend of mine. And when I told her what I was doing and what my troubles were, what my plan was to go there and take out a whole bunch of different drums, hand drums, some snare drums, cajones, boxes, percussion instruments, cowbells, tambourines, things of that nature, and have like a little drum circle with the kids.
Sure.
And I've never done that before. So when I talked to her about it, and she was like, what are the troubles that you're facing? I'm like, well, I mean, obviously they don't have any of this gear,
right? And
this gear costs money, and we worked it out. She ended up sponsoring me, and she sponsored me. She has sponsored me and Joe. So it started.
The Joe we're referring to is Joe Steiber of Rotation Productions, Rotation Gives, Rotation Records.
I mean, listen, I was going out there and doing this drum circle with these kids, and it's a very emotional thing, because you're dealing with kids that are dealing with things from all gamuts. I mean, there's different hardships all within the blanket of cancer, whether it's parents that are battling or the children are battling themselves, whether it's brain, it could be bone, it could be whatever.
Right.
And these kids, coming down, some of them have a lot of challenges to do this, but their whole thing is there's no handicap here.
Right. And that week is really made to make them feel just normal for the week.
Normal,
to put all their troubles aside.
Right. And what I was getting at is that Joe and his team, they're down there for the whole week putting on something incredible, whether it's a show, whether, like the one year that I was there, they did a newscasting thing where they set up a newsroom and everything, and the kids all got to do different things. And I mean, it's just, all these little pieces that come together. I mean, their piece of that puzzle out there is really great. I honored. Pandemic has kind of messed it up for me. I mean, since then I was kind of involved in some way. Now it's starting to get back to the point where I might be able to go out, because they require you to be there the whole week, which I can't do with my schedule. It's just tough. But I was able to start the drum thing, and then that morphed into I was teaching fishing at a camp for kids for 11 years, where I was the lead instructor on a lake. So I was teaching multiple people from beginners to kids that had been fishing for a long time. and was able to take that program to the Ronald McDonald camp. So I was doing the drumming up here, and then I had to run down to the lake to teach kids fishing. So.
Where does that come from in you? Because there's lots of musicians, right? There's lots of people, even friends in our immediate circle, that don't do some of the things that the Joe Stibers, the Rosalie Hetricks, the Hughes, the Mees, the Bill Bostics, the CJ Santana, that don't do things. What's your why? Everybody knows my why is my son and kids like him, right? What's yours?
I think for me, it's always different. I mean, but I would say as a general thing for me, it's just that, I feel really, blessed. I know it's very cliche, but I mean, I feel like I've been blessed. I have a very healthy son who's in school right now in college, and a beautiful wife, beautiful life. Lots of people, it's like you have a bad day and you always get like aggravated and we all get mad and stuff. And then it's like, I was talking to a buddy of mine the other day, and it's like, he's battling cancer and he's dealing with a lot. And then we were talking about a friend of ours that we just lost to cancer. And it's like, well, you're at least still here fighting a battle that somebody's already lost that we knew very well. And it's like, it could always be worse. So, I mean, I've always, if I see the ball on the ground, I pick it up and I run. I'm not the guy in like kill the man, like with football when you were a kid. I was the kid picking it up and getting pummeled by everybody because I don't look at the ball on the ground. So anytime I'm asked to do something, I'm definitely in. And I love giving back. I always actually set a goal for myself to, you can't do everything because then it starts becoming less effective.
Sure.
So you got to kind of space it out. It's like it gets tough where like I get into some positions where it's like, hey, I want to do it all, but it's just not gonna become effective if you're not, everybody's not gonna come to the table every single time.
You know who very kind of passively taught me that lesson, and I don't even think she knows that she did it? Rochelle Steyer.
Mm-hmm.
She said to me one day when we were out seeing some band, I don't even know where we were, but she said, you're doing too much and you're not, your mission or your point is not going to be executed if you don't take a step back and reel it in.
Yeah, I mean, listen, the reason that we do all this stuff is to help people out.
Sure.
Whether it's mostly obviously it's a financial thing, but I mean, in the case of the Ronald McDonald House, it's not.
But it actually is.
It is. Like but I'm saying, well, it is for me from loss of work.
Because other people can take vacation days.
Yeah.
And get paid, can take their PTO. You gave up gigs for that.
Yeah.
So that's a little bit of a different thing. That's my point. Like people will always say, now you're doing our Sunday Funday. Sidearm is our musical performers for our Sunday Funday Cornhole Tournament on April 21st. And I know that is your job. So my first question to you was, are you booked on this day? You said no. And I said, do you want to be? And I think your answer was, I always want to be booked. I mean, you would work 7 days a week if you could.
Yeah. Because and sometimes the next week I might not work any days. It's
correct.
Like...
So, it's not lost on me that you're doing our event, you're doing an event for Brian, for his dog, right?
Yeah.
What's that, in 2 weeks?
Yeah.
3 weeks, or March 10th, right?
March 10th, yeah.
At Tom and Jerry's, Brian from Octane, his dog needs ACL surgery, so they're doing a little mini, like, Octane Unplugged kind of thing.
Yeah, I mean, if I could just talk.
Yeah, absolutely.
Brian's dog needed these two surgeries, and his dog's a young dog, and Brian is actually does I forget what it's called, but he houses
fosters.
Fosters, thank you. So he fosters other dogs, but this isn't a foster dog. This is their dog.
This is actual.
And he has like a rare thing where he tore both of his ACLs, and he just couldn't walk any longer. But these surgeries are not inexpensive,
Nope.
And Brian had already just gotten over with his wife having to pay a pretty hefty bill. She needed something. She had some surgery done, but when he was just like, hey man, I'm just gonna leave it to the Lord, and I know that He's gonna provide. And I was like driving around, and he had the one surgery done, and Brian's like, we're gonna maybe scrape by on this one, but we don't even have anything to start the next one. I'm like, why don't we just do a show?
Sure.
I'll do it with you, and we'll just do an acoustic thing. That way, when people pay for a ticket, they're getting something out of it.
Correct.
You know what I mean? It's not like, like the ripstock thing. I've done that almost every single year. I mean, just people are getting something for that money that they're paying.
That's right.
So when he asked me to do that, I mean, he's probably not going to make all the money for that. I mean, hopefully, if it's well attended, he'll get a good chunk and
hopefully it will. It's at Tom and Jerry's on March 10th. Yeah. And is it just the two of you, or is there going to be some other?
Yeah, I mean, I know that all the guys in the band and Octane, Joey, Greg, and Brian Quinn I think they're all going to be attending. So we'll probably do some stuff.
Yeah, I would imagine.
To find out.
Yeah, but I think
look up there. I'm looking.
Well, you can look here. I told you not to get sidetracked by how cute I am.
I'm looking down instead of up.
Look up. Look at that when you're talking to them, and then if you just look at me, you'll get lost in my beauty.
Oh my God!
I know it's going to be hard for you. It's going to be hard for you to keep it moving. So you just got back from your annual Key West gigs.
Mm-hmm.
So how does that come about?
Well, that story was my buddy Greg Giuliano from the Giuliano Brothers was getting married in Key West, and I wanted to go to the wedding, but I couldn't take off. So I was going to NAMM, which is a music conference in Anaheim, for like the last few years, and we were planning on going to it. And I said, well, listen, if I can get a couple gigs down there, then we won't do NAMM. We'll go to Key West and then celebrate their wedding with them.
Always working.
So I have a friend that is down there who I've gotten to know through Fosterchild and touring and down there and stuff. And we used to play Margaritaville. And we've gotten to know people down there over the years that we were doing that. And I called him, my buddy Chris Hambrook, and I just said, here's what I want to do. And he's like, all right, I got a venue for you. You need a 3-piece band. And I'm like, all right, well, my band doesn't want to go, so I need a band. So I had a friend of mine, Jonathan Williams, who lives down there, and I called John and I said, hey, here's what I want to do. He's like, all right, well, I can get a guitar player and I can play any instrument, so I'll play bass. And then we get a guy named Rick, and I'm like, Rick Fusco, and he's like, yeah. So Rick was from Delaware County, so I'm like, I've never met the guy before, but we're friends on Facebook, and I'm like, yeah, he's a great player. So I shook his hand on the Friday of the gig that we were playing.
Having never played with him before.
Yeah, no. Then
Did you go there with a set list?
We had a list of songs. I think we played 10% of what was on that list. We just ended up just jamming out, and the place that we played, which is an amazing, cool little place called Virgilio's. It's a martini bar. So they have this martini happy hour every day, and we started like around then. So it gets to be really kind of popular and crowded.
I bet
everybody's like down for the martini, and it's a cute little place. Anyway, so Pip, who was the manager who ran all that, maybe she was even an owner, I don't know, but she was just like, oh, I love this. So anytime you want to do it, just give me 3 months notice and I'll book you. And we all had a blast doing it, John, Rick, and myself. So they were like, yeah, I'll just give me some time. I'll keep my schedule open, because they're all doing, they play music down there full time, and they're all in a ton of different things. And this has been
so when you go down, it's them that you're playing with? Well,
it's morphed into more than that, meaning, that's we call it Del Val South because we're all from the area.
Yeah.
But yeah, and I played three shows with those guys, and then the other shows that I played were other guys. So, we had a different bass player, Claire, on Wednesday, and then we had a different guitar player and then Jonathan either played guitar or bass or,
That's awesome.
He's this super talented dude.
That's awesome.
It's cool because, Jonathan handles a lot. We've moved from Virgilio's to Margaritaville now, and we're there 5 days plus, the other shows. I do like 3 or 4 acoustic shows.
Did you play it all with the Giulianos while you were down there?
I mean, every night when I'm done, because the great thing about the gig I was playing is I was done at 10 o'clock.
Ah.
So the night's a puppy.
Yeah.
So I would go down and hang out at Sloppy's, sit in with the Giuliano brothers, go across the street, sit in with the Dirtbags, my buddy Dave, who I just covered for him in November. So I sat in with that whole band for a week. So we got to be I got to know the rest of the band, which I've known those guys, but
That's
not
awesome.
like on that level, like, for hanging out.
That's awesome.
So I'm basically Dave's pee break for the, for the week. He knows I'm going to come out and do like 3 songs, and then I bounce all around. I go see Cappy Carl, and
Is it true that Sidearm does not have a set list?
Well, now we do.
Okay, because you've got a new player.
We do have a new player, and
So Ryan has left Sidearm. He's now doing a YouTube project.
Well, he's always had that, but he's
okay, but he's focusing on that on his YouTube project, and they have a new guitar player, from the band Dope.
Dope, yeah.
And it's Virus, but
Virus, yeah.
Does he use his stage name?
Yeah, his name's
Andre. Okay, but his name is Andre. So the show I'm going to see tonight, right? Is it what I'm used to seeing from Sidearm? Because your post said some new songs.
Yeah, it's going to be new music. I mean, really, at this point with the band, Ryan, through the time of us being in a band, when he started adding in the synthesizer, our sound changed to that.
Sure.
And then we've created that sound together, and Ryan has learned to use that instrument, but it's like, not a lot of people play that. Like, he didn't play that when we started, so it's like something that the band grew into over time. So, you're not going to find a lot of guitar players that are like, oh yeah, I already do that thing, and then let's do it.
Yeah.
So now what we've talked about is, we just tried to find the best fit for us to be the band that we're supposed to be. And that was going to require some changes, which were welcome, honestly. Like, we have an opportunity here to kind of, focus in on things or make some changes if we want to. And I mean,
it's a little refreshing.
Be like, hey, this isn't the same
thing.
But
it's refreshing, sort of, I think, for the sort of like the Sidearm Nation, right? The people that come to see you all the time, we're going to hear different songs. Now, it's not going to be like the Sidearm show that I went to at Carney's, right? When you said, what do you want to hear? And I said 38 Special. And you said, here? You want me to play 38 Special here? And you did it. But I think two people besides me and Rita and Lynn knew the song.
I think the thing about how the band always was is we play to the room that we're in.
Sure.
When we're in Carney's, it's 21-year-old kids.
Right.
And, we're playing to that. That's the crowd that's there. And they're the ones that are paying the bill, and the demographic is a whole lot different.
True.
Than when we play, at Screwballs or Peppers or something like that. It's like tonight's going to be a very heavily dance-oriented night, but it's going to be Motown. It's going to be Earth, Wind, and Fire. It's going to be
nice.
It's going to be all over the map, but it's going to be more dance-oriented. And I think that's kind of the focus that we're going. Listen, I mean, a lot of people love the band.
So we have a rule. When your phone goes off during the podcast, we have to drink.
I've already been drinking.
I know, but we have to make a special point.
Well, you should be like, you have to finish the drink. I mean, that would be challenging.
You could chug it. I could just give you the bottle. But you've got to play. You have to entertain me later.
Well, I mean, a couple of drinks in me is not going to hurt anything.
That's right.
That guy has literally never called me. It's like he knew what I was doing. Like, I just heard you on the radio. It's like, my buddy Frank.
Oh. Was it you?
No, it was my buddy Frank.
So, some things about you, right? Everybody knows that you're a drummer, okay? Do people know what a shark nerd you are? Because he's a total shark nerd.
I mean, if they don't know, then they're not really
in the know.
Know me.
Yeah.
There's like two things about me that if you know, besides the drumming thing, because you probably maybe met me while I was doing that.
Right.
But outside of that, there's two things that if you know even a little bit about me, you don't even have to be a good friend.
Can I say it?
Go ahead.
Cars. Okay. You're obsessed with cars.
I wasn't even counting how.
Oh.
No.
Well, the shark thing.
Yeah, it's about the Disney and the mouse. Yes.
And Disney, yeah. It's about the shark and the mouse.
Yeah, I mean, the shark thing. My favorite movie of all time is Jaws. I've been infatuated my whole entire life.
Which is kind of how. So
now, just to go on record, I did not start this. I did not go down this road.
I did give you. I know. I did. I said to him, "Listen,
I was already
on the podcast. We are not talking about sharks."
So do we call him my buddy on the camera now?
I asked him if he wanted to participate, and he said no. He just wanted to make Google eyes at you.
He's trying to make you happy.
He wanted to make Google eyes at you from afar. So
he doesn't want to sleep on the couch because he knows where it's going to lead.
He does. I know. All of a sudden,
you guys will get into a
battle over nurse sharks. So
no, we're not talking about nurses.
We'll
talk about nurses.
Oh, good Lord.
And then talk about sharks.
So the running kind of joke amongst people that knew me and knew Bobby's wife Carla is that we are pretty much the same person. We like all the same things. We were both metalheads in our teen years and still are. No, me and Carla. Sorry. Both love Twin Peaks. Both love all things horror. Both love Disney. There's just so many overlapping similarities. And then I found out that Bobby is a huge shark nerd. And anybody that knows Jason knows that he too is a huge shark nerd.
Match made in heaven.
It was a match made in heaven. So,
and then you're the poo to my Tigger.
Yes, yes. So my favorite Disney character is Winnie the Pooh because he's a chubby little cubby and he doesn't wear pants, and that's me. I mean, I wear them because I have to, and Bobby has the energy of Tigger. He can play 3 shows in a day and still be raring to go. And you topple me every time I see you.
Yeah, hop right on.
You did hop right on me. So we had a really kind of fun bonding weekend back in November or October, where the 4 of us kind of took our friendship from sort of that Facebook land, seeing each other at gigs, to a real place, right? Like I feel like we ate and drank our ways through New York City. We had a blast of a time, and it just kind of cemented, because of social media, and I think because of our music circle, right? We both have a lot of friends, a lot of acquaintances, right? But then you also have like your kind of your core people.
Yeah.
And I feel very confident in, your place in our lives and ours in yours. And, so that makes busting your balls that much more fun.
Sure.
Like our whole exchange today, I asked him, I said, what's your cocktail for the podcast? Because Mike Apple's adamant that we do more cocktailing on a podcast that has cocktails in the name. And he doesn't drink coffee. Nothing hot.
Nothing hot.
Which is devastating to poor Jake. That's why he left.
No, he can make me cold coffee.
He left. He was like, I'm out of here. He said, Mr. Bobby Beard, that's what he calls him, does not like coffee. I'm out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was a little nervous that he wouldn't like me because of that. But I told my wife, I was like, I will start to drink coffee if it means that my relationship was better with Jake.
You bought him a Tommy Boy poster, which, by the way, so we got this mysterious package at the house right after Christmas.
Well, they know why, though, right? Because he lost.
Oh, yeah, so we lost everything in the fire, yes.
And then we moved back into their home without all of the stuff that they lost in the fire.
And he asked me, what is the one thing that Jake really, would like to replace? And I was like, probably his Tommy Boy poster. And I couldn't find it anywhere. I did an extensive search, clearly not as extensive as you did. I mentioned it to Bobby.
I'm very resourceful.
But I don't remember mentioning it to Bobby. And then it showed up at my house, but there was no card or anything attached. Now, that happens to us a lot. People send Jake things or send me things. I still have a Kate Spade Dachshund handbag that somebody sent me last year that's like a couple $100.
That's you, let us know.
I have no idea who it's from. But I digress. So I never said anything. And like 3 weeks ago, I get this random
text.
After
it had arrived.
Yeah, I get this random text from Bobby. Hey, did you get a poster in the mail with my name on it? I didn't even look at the name.
She was like, no.
Yeah, no, I didn't say
No, you did at first. You said no.
I was like, no, and then
I was like, a Tom, and you're, that was you. Like at first, you didn't even know. And I forgot about it. I'm like literally like I just sit there and I'm like, wait a second. And I go to my thing and I look it up like it was delivered then. And I'm
That's awesome.
And I sent it to Jake, and then I had my name in parentheses, so which is like I never look at.
Yeah, I never looked at that. I'm just like,
listen, I couldn't.
My theory is if shit gets dropped off at my door, it's for me. So
this is what we talk about, though. I mean, it's not just charity work. It's just if you see that you can do something and you can do it, then frickin' do it.
Right.
Like, I mean,
like my first
I didn't have to do that, and our friendship would be exactly the same.
Exactly.
It didn't matter.
I would still like Carla more.
I'm like, as soon as we had that conversation and I hung up, she's like, "What are you doing?" I'm like, "I'm trying to find this Tommy Boy coaster." And she's like, "Why?" And I'm like, "Well, Ange said it was one thing, and I can make that happen. I can figure it out."
Ange would also like a check for $1 million.
And I can make that happen.
Yes.
Yeah. I ain't gonna guarantee them cash, but I'll write it to you right now.
Our first Christmas ornament was from Bobby and Carla. When we were in Florida, when we were in Disney, we went to, I know we do. We went to the Disney store, as for over 50-year-olds too.
Here? Was there a bartender?
It was me. And they bought us a Tigger and Pooh ornament. Well, I guess more you bought me a Tigger and Pooh ornament. The thought, when I look at it, I think lovingly of Carla, but it really represents me and you.
Yeah.
And that.
But she approved the purchase.
She did. She did. And that means the world to me. So, all right. So what was the other thing that you were going to say, though? I said cars and sharks.
No, you got it. It was the Disney thing.
Or Disney. Oh, I did.
Yeah,
get
I mean,
it. Okay.
the Disney and the Jaws. I mean, the show. I mean, I guess the cars too. I mean, I'm certainly into cars.
Yeah.
Yeah. I definitely collect them. Like working on them. I like. I mean, yeah. I like the mechanical stuff. I like noise.
You do. So, this is kind of funny. Bobby has a severe aversion to peaches.
I do.
Like bad.
Who are you talking? Where are you getting this information from? Did we talk about that? Oh, we did.
Carla and I both got a peach-based, a very peach-forward cocktail at the theater.
I didn't talk to you for
at the theater when we went to see The Shark is Broken. And she stood next to you for 32 seconds, and you were like, "Is there peaches in that?" You had such a visceral reaction to peaches. But I've been saving this. I've been holding on to this. I want you to know that when we went to Applebee's, before we went to the movies, the cocktail that we had peaches in it, and you were none the wiser.
There you go.
So there you go. So I think it's a psychosomatic response.
Honestly, though, at this point, I'm really kind of pissed off. Can I say pissed off?
You can. You can say fucking pissed off.
Because why would you do that? I tell you that I don't like something, and you know why I don't like it. I explain to you why, and then you try to sneak it in on me?
I try to sneak it.
I wanted it. That I thought I
wanted it. No, not you. I didn't give it to you. Carla and I had a cocktail with peaches in it again. Didn't sneak it into you.
Oh, I thought you made me drink. That's what you were saying. That we all had it.
Do you read?
Do I read?
Yeah, not can you read. Do you read? Do you ever sit down with a book and read?
I have read a book. I wouldn't call myself a reader, though.
What's the last book you read?
Honestly, the last book that I read was Jaws. And honestly, it was not that long ago that it happened. It just happened that I have read that book.
Wait, Jaws is a book? Wait, Jay, Jaws is a book?
Yes. Peter Benchley.
No shit.
The movie is nothing like the book, and that's the whole thing about it. The book is kind of like.
But you know who actually did Jaws?
No.
One of his first.
Oh, Steven Spielberg.
Yeah.
That was his.
I saw the play. I was with you.
But before the play, did you know?
Yes, I knew that. Listen, I've been with you long enough to know all kinds of shit about that dumb movie.
Dun, dun, dun.
But I did not know it was a book. So you just taught me something.
Look, if you're a true shark nerd.
Yeah, I'm not, though. You are. I like horror.
If you're a true shark nerd.
Yes.
When you're on the beach of Florida, where you're playing the Jaws soundtrack through your Bluetooth.
Jason is asking Bobby. They're nerding out now. I knew this was going to happen. If when Bobby is in Florida on the beach, if he's playing the Jaws theme. Because, full disclosure, my husband can often be found playing the theme to The Fog or Jaws while we're sitting on the beach. I can't explain it.
You should pull up the theme from Humanoids from the Deep when you're on the beach.
Great
now, that would be,
oh my God.
That would be
great soundtrack.
Something worth talking about.
Okay.
I do not.
Carla and I are going to have a dinner party and play the Twin Peaks
soundtrack,
theme.
actually.
Yes. It is a good. No, it is a good soundtrack.
It's a good one too.
The book was banned.
But
really?
a funny thing is that driving here today, my son called me before we got here and we were talking, and he was like, "Dad, I sent you some pictures." So he sent him to Carl, and one of them was him surfing, and he's in Florida, and I'm like, "Dude, just be careful." And
yeah.
He's like, "What? Be careful of what?" And I'm like, "You're
Are you afraid of the ocean? Like, will you get in it?
Am I afraid to get attacked by a shark? Fuck.
No, it's not what I asked you.
I mean,
are you afraid of the ocean?
I freaking love the ocean.
So you will go in.
How deep?
I will go in the water.
How deep?
Yeah, I will go in. But if I'm in Florida,
I don't mean your pinky toe, Robert. How deep will you go?
Well, first of all, if we're going to talk about deepness, because this is how we're going to roll with this.
Oh, dear God.
When you're in the ocean, you could be up to your neck, but that means that you're only maybe in knee-deep water. It's the waves that are making it high. So what are we talking about here? I will go out.
Can you
listen to me? Here's my answer.
What's the word?
I will go out far enough to body surf wherever that break is.
All right, that's fair.
So it could be. It's determined on the sand.
So this is what Jason does. So he sits and he stares at it like it's his arch nemesis for a solid hour. And then he slowly approaches it, right? And then he stands there and he checks it. And I have photo proof of this.
Yeah.
And he kind of checks it out.
Nice.
And then he'll put his feet in it, but, he won't fully commit. And then, depends on how many beers he's had on the beach. He may go out a little bit, maybe just to like the tip of his hiney, and then he's all done. Now, in a lake, he also tried to not get. We got him in the lake, but we had to get him drunk first. He didn't want to go in the lake because he was like, there are sharks in lakes. We're like, what are you?
That question.
Well, the worst shark of all time is in the lakes. It could be not lakes, but like estuaries and stuff like that, brackish water.
Sorry, what?
It wasn't a lake, it was a river.
It was, and it was brackish, actually.
Brackish is what it is.
Yeah.
We were in a river.
All right. But it was a beautiful river.
Bull sharks have been known to swim, and that's the worst. That's like the worst shark that you ever ran.
That's like number one.
That's like
that's their home.
That's the guy you don't want to be.
And you can't see it coming in brackish water.
You just don't know. Yeah, because it's normally cloudy. I mean, I was fishing on a boat in Punta Cana with my wife, and it was her and I, and then 4 other dudes that had paid for the charter.
Yeah.
And then the captain and a mate. When we went out, I'm like,
the captain and Tennille?
It was rough. And I'm like, I've been out on a lot of rough seas, but this was like, I'm not even sure that we should be out here. And she's like, when I look at you and you look like that makes me a little nervous.
Yeah.
And I go up to the captain, who is, we're in Punta Cana, so he didn't really speak great English. Right. And I was like, hey, man, should we even be out here right now? He's like, oh, yeah, man, we're fine.
Did he say, look at me, yeah. I'm the captain now?
Yeah. So she's like, do you want to sit up here? And I'm like, no, I want to go down, and I want to, because they were in the fly bridge.
Oh.
I'm like, no, I want to go down, and I want to stand there, and I want to keep my eye on land. That way, because waves were like literally almost coming over the back.
You weren't getting seasick at all?
No, I had taken a pill. Now, she actually didn't. She never gets seasick.
Okay.
And she was sick. Now, I will say that I caught a marlin on this trip, which was a bucket list fish that I've never caught. So I caught a 6-foot marlin. So no matter what, it will be the greatest trip of all time to this point, because that was like a bucket list. I didn't think I'd ever catch one, and we caught some nice old dolphin. But anyway, she's like, what happens if, and I'm like, well, listen, as long as we could see land, we know which direction to go in.
True.
And she's like, we would swim that way? And I'm like, that's the direction we would have to go in. Yes. But then she's like, are you not worried about anything else? I'm like, yeah, but I don't want to talk about it. I mean, I don't want to sing.
You're like, yeah, I'm actually crying inside right now.
Trying to put on this strong face.
Trying to put on this strong face for my honey. All right, so I'm being conscious of time because you do have a gig tonight, and I know you have to go set up. So, what is your favorite song to play?
That I play now, or that I want to play?
The favorite song to play the drums to.
That you want.
Well, Jason's apparently putting qualifiers on my questions.
Favorite song you would want?
No, I thought you said something else.
No, he said that you would want to play. You can. It can be a song you do play.
I mean, a song that I enjoy playing drums to is 2 songs. I'm going to say 2.
Okay.
Subdivisions, and I'm going to say Give Blood.
What's that?
Really?
It's a great song.
Who's that?
It's Pete Townsend.
Oh.
But Simon Phillips played drums on it, and
I mean, I know what
Tony Levin, I
Subdivisions is. I
believe,
didn't know the
played
other
bass
one.
on it, and just the groove is just incredible.
And you don't currently play that in any
No, I
capacity.
actually did subdivisions for Carla. Like I made a video of it for her. Like I didn't play it perfectly.
Romantic.
I didn't play it.
You love a lot of people. I mean, I think if people actually follow you on Facebook, they see that you're very romantic. Yeah. But like you literally sang your wedding song to her, and like that's just a beautiful thing. Because to look at you, you wouldn't really extract that.
I'm trying to just keep her here, man. I'm trying to keep her here.
I know. Listen, she's got options, and I'm one of them.
Seriously.
What is your least? I asked you if you wanted to be a part of this podcast, and you politely declined.
What are you, a heckler?
Why?
Can you make drinks? Because if you can make drinks, then you can be very useful.
I don't have any more cranberry, but you can put vodka and lemonade in there.
Easy question.
Can you do lemonade?
No more cranberry?
I'm out of cranberry.
I don't want that.
You'll drink vodka lemonade. Huh? You want a beer?
Okay, I'll give it a shot. Huh? No, I'll give it a shot.
All right. Vodka's there. Lemonade's in the fridge.
Joe.
Thanks, Joe.
Thank you, Joe.
Thanks, bartender Joe.
Hey,
he's got a question.
You asked me when I was doing this. You were like, I was like, I was going to come down here, and I knew I wasn't getting paid for this, nor do I expect to.
Oh my God!
Somewhere's with this.
Yes.
And I'm like, I told you, I'm like, it's going to cost you money, and you're like, how's it going to cost you money? What, driving there? And I'm like, no, because my wife is going to walk around the record shop. See? How much did you spend?
Did you get mine crime?
$25.
Each?
No.
Oh, total? Gosh.
She didn't get mine crime. He even told her about
I thought
mine
I was
crime.
working for free today. I literally thought that almost my gig would be.
To mine crime, so.
You're trying to get free records?
No. I told him, I said, I won't let you look around. Because he was like, if I come there, I'm going to spend a fortune. He goes, I'm going to spend what I'm going to make at Peppers. I was like, oh my God, the drama.
Not for Peppers.
My question.
All right, come on.
Which I asked every other job.
Okay.
What made you want to play the job?
Maybe that's on my list.
Okay, then it's your
Hold that thought. It's not, but hold that thought. Okay. What is your least favorite song to play?
Any song that has girl in it.
Really?
Any song that has girl in it.
Like American Girl?
Could be one.
What about
Thank You Girl?
Brown Eyed Girl, Somebody's Baby? Wait, is there a girl in that? What about Beautiful Girls?
We just added Diamond Girl, and that I actually don't find that one so bad right now.
Wait a minute. Seals and Cross then?
Yeah. I know. I don't want to give it out. I don't want to give you the joke.
Right?
Come and sing.
Wait. You don't like Beautiful Girls by VH?
Not really. Not particularly. I mean, I don't
really?
need it.
Okay.
Like you're taking this in the whole, like in our industry, when we say any song that has a girl, we mean Brown Eyed Girl, American Girl, Jesse's Girl. It's that kind of
I get it. I mean,
I'm sure there's a girl song out there that I like still.
We already know what your favorite movie is. What was your first concert?
My first secular concert, meaning
You grew up on Christian music.
I love Christian music. I do. I really do. I mean, there's some of those bands that I really looked up to as a kid. My first secular concert was AC/DC at the Spectrum on the Flick of the Switch tour, which when they recorded Flick of the Switch, it literally like came out while they were still touring for Those About to Rock. So literally the tour did not change at all. They added like 2 songs from Flick of the Switch. So basically it was a For Those About to Rock tour for like 2 years. And I was in literally the last seat of the Spectrum against the wall with the big boxes. Remember the boxes?
Oh, yeah.
So the box was like right there. It was 13 of us. My dad and my uncle took us. And it was all cousins. So all of the other people were cousins.
That's cool.
Like family.
That's
kids.
Cool.
Like we were all around the same age from like 15 to like 13 years old. And oh man, it was just
That's awesome.
I mean, I was deaf. My ears were ringing. We had this.
I got a nerdy.
Hold on.
We had my parents still had this like 1966 Impala that had the third back.
Oh yeah, but
we were piled in this thing, and I was sitting in the back, and I just remember that whole like ride.
That's awesome.
Going there, like knowing that I was a huge AC. I loved AC/DC. I mean, and it was.
Do you still?
Yeah, still do. I mean, I'm not. I don't really listen to it.
No, but they have when you hear it, you're instantly nostalgic, right?
I mean, my top 10 favorite songs of all time is on Highway to Hell, and it's called too many things
I know
here, but it's called I got the guitar in my head.
Wait, who?
He's trying to
Walk
think.
All Over You. Jesus,
Okay.
I mean, it was like great.
You really
Oh,
you dug deep for that one.
Know that one?
Love it.
Oh, it's amazing.
It's my favorite.
The guitar tone in the beginning of that, when you just hear the guitar strum,
Yeah.
what sounds better than that? It is the most perfect,
And
distorted,
it's distorted.
and it's just
so
it's
fun.
just a middle finger right in the
It's like an
face.
egg.
And then Phil Rudd comes in with that drum. Blah, blah, blah. Oh my God! I know, and then the whole thing changes. Like you're like in, and then it's like, whoa, what's this? Yeah.
What was your last concert?
My last concert was it The Cure? I don't even
No,
know.
wasn't it Seven Dust last week?
No,
I
he didn't
didn't
go.
Oh.
I hung out with my brother.
No, then your last concert was
It was.
right. Was Kiss.
No, it was actually Tool.
Oh,
And that was
okay.
at the same venue.
Okay.
So it was Tool.
Okay.
And when I did get to go to Atlanta, my wife took me to
to see
Atlanta to see
Pantera.
Pantera because
Yeah.
I was working on every gig within a normal driving time.
Yeah. We went to see Kiss in
Yeah.
was it December? When the hell was that show?
Yes, it was.
I think it was December. Yeah, it was the second to the last
Our
show.
Baltimore trip was to make sure that we could actually get along on the Kiss.
No, you mean our New York trip was
Yeah.
to yeah. That was a lot of fun. But the entire time, all Paul Stanley
This isn't too
said
bad. This
was
is good.
yes, lemonade is very
I
good
mean, I
with
like the
that.
cranberry better, but I like it.
We got it.
And not only that, he gave me a straw and he tore the thing off.
What did I do?
Get a
All right,
straw.
Joe, you're hired apparently. You're the bartender. Yes,
Yes.
Jay, you can ask a question, but the next time I say to you, do you want to be a part of the podcast?
You should be a part of
The
the
answer
podcast.
is yes, because this is irritating.
Here's the problem. I'm going to be sitting over there the whole time not saying anything.
You clearly don't have a problem interjecting.
So he didn't do this because he knew that you weren't going to let anybody else really talk.
That's not true.
Exactly.
Our most viewed podcast had the two of us together. What is your
is
dream
gonna beat that.
venue to play?
Like that I haven't ever
Yeah,
played.
that you've never like. What's the pinnacle for you?
I would think Red Rocks would be pretty up there. I mean, Get the Lead Out, our friend.
Yeah,
I played there many times, and I've always like
never done
kind
it.
of. No, I've never gotten to do it.
Never done it.
Actually, like always had this like thing, like if I ever got to go to see them there, because I wanted to do
See,
that.
that's
but
a
it's-
bucket list for. Okay,
No,
full
I wanna
disclosure,
do it.
and this is going to get me canceled. I feel like
My friend Nicole.
I've never
Say it.
seen Get the Let Out.
Oh my God.
Now, mind you, I have seen Paul Hammond and Friends multiple times,
Yeah, it's
which had every facet. I've seen Paul Sinclair. And now without Adam, I'm a little, you know, it's sad, right? Very sad.
Yeah.
But it would be a huge bucket list thing to be able to see Get the Let Out at Red Rocks.
Yeah.
That would be exceptional to me. How much does your faith, because you were raised in a very Christian household, your father was a pastor?
Yeah. Well,
How-
my mom was actually the one.
That would be weird.
You know, my dad wasn't a Christian when my mom was.
Kind of like
You know, I mean, the long and the short of it is my brother had a tumor behind his ear when he was like 5 years old. And when they went in and operated, they had to take a piece of his skull out and it collapsed the side of his face. And there was a moment that he was maybe not going to live.
Wow.
And that night, my mom said, you know, if you take my life and spare my son's, I'll give my life to you
Yeah.
if my son lives. And then, like, you know, miracle, like literally, you know, the next morning, they're like, we don't really know how he even pulled through all this, but he is doing well. He's like, he's going to be okay. And like, he was like, they were literally like, you know, not get your affairs, he's 5 years old.
Yeah,
but they
yeah.
Literally like,
You know what I mean?
I don't think he's going to make it through the night. And he did. And he's still here today.
Wow.
So my mom, at that point,
She
she did.
kept her
Yeah, she
kept
did.
her.
And my dad wasn't really kind of on board. And then that one day it just clicked in him. And my dad went to school. Like my dad dropped out of high school. So he was like at this point I believe he was probably like in his late 30s. And I was in maybe going into high school. Like maybe I was a freshman. It could have been in 8th grade. And then he went back to school. He got his GED. And then he enrolled in college and went to the Philadelphia College of Bible and became a youth minister, a youth pastor. And then he ran the youth group that I was in the whole time that my me, my sister, and my brother were in that youth group. My dad was there, and then my dad went to another church, and then it became a job. When he was doing it there, it wasn't his job while he was going through school.
Right.
And then he went and got his master's for ministry, and then he became a minister, which I was one of them to do that. He's such an amazing storyteller, and you know, a lot of times you can listen to people speak, and they don't really grab you. It can be boring.
Sure.
I'm not gonna lie.
Sure. No, some people just don't have the capability of being articulate and engaging. They could be perfectly great people, but it just sort of falls flat,
and I was
right?
like, dude, if you talk so well, like you could just do this and people will listen, you know, and he did, and it was great. So, and he just retired.
So how much does your faith play into your day-to-day life now as a 50-something-year-old man?
Well, I feel like I don't walk the path that I should be walking to, but you know, I am a Christian. I've accepted the Lord and Savior the Lord as my Savior, and I try to be a better person every day. And you know, I mean, listen, I mean, there's all this stuff that goes around, like I'm this, I'm that, I'm this, I can get along with everybody.
Sure.
My whole thing is like, nobody's ever, if you're doing what you should be doing, then it's never hurt anybody.
That's right.
There's nothing wrong with believing in a higher power. And you know, listen, stuff goes wrong. I mean, there's kids that die.
Right.
And nobody knows why.
Right.
You know, I mean, why would God do that? And, you know, I mean,
I get it. That is another thing that really kind of, I think, solidifies our friendship and draws me to you because, you know, you are a God-fearing man, Carla, and you both have strong faith, and that's always something that's very, you know, very attractive to us. So I'm gonna switch gears a little bit and do a little thing called this or that, right? And then Jason has a nerd question. So, chocolate or vanilla?
Vanilla, but I like both.
Meat or fish?
Meat or crab.
Okay.
Not a fish.
Anthrax with John Bush or Joey Belladonna?
John Bush. I mean,
Yes.
I know.
Thank you.
Sound of White Noise is an amazing record.
Best album.
It's the best album they ever did.
No.
Oh no, she's not.
You're Belladonna all day.
We go through this all the time.
No.
I think he's great, but it's just that record that they did with him was
so
better.
Good.
It's just what? I mean, for me.
No, I agree. It's the best. I think it's the best Anthrax.
What a good record that is.
It is.
It's really, really good. Charlie Benante, great.
Oh, I told you my story about when I met him, and it made my whole life.
But they don't know. I know.
Oh,
they don't.
I did. I met Charlie once at a Eddie Trunk. What was it? His 50th birthday.
Yeah.
Jason took me to.
He just celebrated that.
No, his
50th. No.
I celebrated my 50th.
No, it wasn't his birthday. It was like years in the business.
You sure?
At that point, I think it was like 20 or 25 years.
I don't know how old he is.
Well, whatever it was. But it was
he's
like
pulling that stage age thing.
It was a dynamic event, a super group of just. Peter Criss kissed me that night. Nice. I haven't washed my cheeks since. Ace Frehley was standing right in front of us. It was everything. Jason peed right next to Jeff Tate from Queensryche. It was a good time. Story for another day. DLR or Sammy?
Oh, Sammy.
Me too.
I mean, no, Hold on.
Hold on.
Wait a minute. We're friends.
If you're talking. You said DLR, so when you say DLR, I thought you meant
You mean solo?
Yeah.
No.
Okay.
I mean, all right. Van Halen or Van Halen?
Yeah, I mean, I really like both. I'm gonna go David on that one now because there's probably more of those songs that I like, but I like them both.
Mm-hmm.
Look, we play both in the band because we're.
I'd like to hear more Sammy.
Yeah.
I tell Mike not that all the time.
We don't have any Sammy right now.
I thought you did Dreams.
Well, we did, but now we're learning all that stuff. It's a long time to learn. 10 years to learn songs that we knew. We didn't know all those songs.
How many songs, if you had to guess?
With Ryan in the band?
Yeah.
It was
hundreds.
It was
thousands.
Well, I mean, our main list is probably like 900 songs.
That's unbelievable. That's not even all. That's unbelievable.
Yeah.
And I think the Giulianos follow a very similar.
Yeah,
format.
I mean, they're more in a niche. Like they're more to this point to that point. And I feel like we spread it out a little bit more. Like they don't really hit they don't hit the 90s and the newer stuff like the Fall Out Boy things and stuff like we hit that stuff. I mean, but listen,
it's true.
They're amazing.
But
and they're
ridiculous.
like some of my favorite people on the planet, and they're an incredible band. I love them dearly, and we're gonna take them down to them.
I was just gonna say, they're playing it, so people
I'm
were
just
like,
hoping
"Wait,
it's
are
so
you
crowded
going
at their gig?"
They're like, "Are you going to Peppers?"
People have to go there.
Well, this was the question I got from people in like my different text groups.
Yeah.
Are you going to see the Junkies at Soul Joel's? You going to see Sidearm at Peppers, or are you going to see the Giulianos at Screwballs? And I was like, well, Bobby's on my podcast, so I'm going to Peppers. I'm like, but I might skate out middle of the last set and hit Screwballs on the way home. I won't. I'll be too tired.
Giulianos are playing Screwballs.
So listen, I got it at the thought of doing the show. I actually
month.
came on this to guarantee that 2 extra people would be at my show.
I know.
I did her show as a...
That's it, as a precursor for all the times I've come to see him. By the way,
and also
this is
today
the first time he's ever been in the store.
One of the 2 nights where they get the let out for Adam.
Yes,
so
that's true.
I was really bummed out that I was already booked.
I know.
I would love to be there.
But, Sunday's rib stock, which this will have already, rib stock will have already happened. But, Sunday's rib stock is a fundraiser for the Adam Ferrioli Fund as well.
Yeah, I know. And I'm actually working on something right now, and it's a little too early to talk about.
Okay.
And when we talked about this, I said don't even want to talk about anything until they do their thing. Because I felt like that's
but I think it's going to carry over too. So by the time you see this, you will have missed Ribstock. But if you want to help Heather kind of make sense of things from a financial perspective for her children, please donate to Rotation Gives to the Adam Ferrioli Fund.
Yeah. And just so you know, everybody out there, we're working on something too for Heather and the family. It's going to be another concerty type thing that will revolve around Adam's music.
Do you need me to sing?
And his love. We're going to talk about it.
Okay.
Yeah. Can you sing?
No, doesn't mean I can't. I won't.
No doubt.
Listen, a lot of bands out there that can't sing. Loaded brand new car. All the bells and whistles, or a beater that you can restore.
Depending on the beater to restore, always going to be beater to restore.
Really?
Yeah.
You could have a car that does everything for you. You don't want that? You'd rather almost sever your thumb again?
I didn't do that working on a car.
Oh, that's right. That was yours.
I was working on my house.
That's right.
And I don't know. I mean, I have a car that has all the bells and whistles, and I love driving it. But getting in the car that Carla can be like, this is like spin cycle. Spin cycle. I don't know, the rumble.
That's awesome.
The smell of gasoline and oil. I mean, come on.
Who doesn't love that?
Seriously, like.
Imagine, so you're all sweaty after you play, so you smell like sweat, oil, and diesel fuel.
Oh.
That's really hot.
It's funny when I'm out in the garage working on cars and I come inside and she's like, you smell like gasoline.
Yeah.
I'm like, exactly.
You're like, yes, I do.
And she's like, and oil. And I'm like, exactly.
That was
exactly.
I layered my fragrance for you.
It was like 2 nights ago. It was not last night, maybe the night before.
That's
no.
Funny.
Well, that was I don't know. It was this week.
My last question.
The last one for the whole
No.
thing?
My last question before I let Jason ask his nerd question is, who do you like more, me or Jay?
It's 100% emphatically going to be you.
Thank you.
But then, when I thought about it and I weighed all of the things, I was like, really, I have a lot more in common with Jay.
Good answer.
But I do not bust balls the same way that I do. I'm an amateur bartender. Like I do with
That's
you.
True.
So I was thinking, but then I was like,
it's a dude thing.
I'm not picking. Are you crazy? I love you both.
What am I in your phone as?
Can I open it up?
Isn't it like Angie?
You guys, you really want?
Oh yeah.
Listen.
So listen.
We were on a train to New York, and maybe there was some alcohol involved in this decision. But when I put Angie on my phone, and I didn't tell her what I did, but I did tell her husband, and he was laughing so out of controlly that she was like, "What?" What?
Because anytime my husband experiences any joy, I want to squash.
Is it? I don't know if it's going to show your number. Are you okay with that on the air?
It's fine. I put my number out there for all kinds of things.
Could you just throw that down?
All right, here it is.
I'm driving you down there.
What's it say?
I can't really read that.
Hold on.
No, we can.
Is there a way to? I guess I could screenshot it.
Oh my God. I didn't know exactly what it was. I knew it was something to
So
that
her
effect.
name in my phone.
You should hear it in the
Now
car.
here's the thing. I've lost some friends and I've lost some people. Now when people go on my phone, they go up in my phone is what I need to remember me by. And I've spelled names wrong and I've had friends of mine like Mike Passaro was like, you know that's not how you spell my name. I'm like, I don't change it. I don't change it because I think it's bad luck. I don't know
you
why.
also have do not answers in your
I do.
phone?
Okay.
I gotta start doing that.
I have a couple of assholes in there too. Asshole one or asshole two.
Is that under Joe Stiber?
It's under Danny Beisel.
Hey!
Whoa.
For as good of-
So we were talking about you on my phone. So you are in my phone as Ange McFartface.
Right. Original.
But I think even better than that is you were like, oh, well, what is Jason? And then I showed you what Jason was, and you were like, you are an asshole.
Doesn't it just say...
What does it say?
Doesn't it just say Jay McFarland?
No, it doesn't.
Oh, what's it say? My best friend?
No, it says it's even better than
My
that.
dark point.
No, it says, I think it says Jason is the most amazing human being on the face.
You jackass. I can't. I cannot. I
Oh,
cannot.
it says Jason, my good friend and great human.
Love it.
So when she saw that, she was just like, you are an
Yeah.
asshole. And I don't even know why.
I have him
Jason
in my
McFarland.
phone with his initials.
Now listen, anybody
RFK.
that now at this point changes Ann's name or Jason,
He's probably
because I don't
good-
want to.
yeah.
You have to give me credit
Yeah.
and just be like, listen.
Maybe pay
You
a
can start calling her that.
McFart face?
Yeah.
And do you want me to change
Well, the
Jason's
funny
name
thing
to-
is that
Douche
because of the
nozzle.
alcohol that was actually in my system at the
Got it.
time,
Yeah.
it actually went a little bit more hardcore, and then I backed it off.
Oh my gosh.
It did.
Cork it
Well,
out.
could have been Ange Mc.
Ah.
Mmm.
Nice.
But I didn't do that. I
Good.
kept it clean
Kept it clean.
for
Good.
the kids.
Gassy.
Should hear it in the car.
Well,
Oh,
listen.
Call you.
no, she doesn't even say it right in the
It
car.
says it out loud.
But she doesn't even say it right. Like the little voice in the car.
Yeah.
She messes up every single
She
name.
does.
What did she say?
And I'm like, what were we driving here? And I said something in there, and it came up with this name that was nothing even
I know.
remotely close. I'm like,
But it does say
How?
McFartbait.
no.
Oh, great car.
No, it
Thanks.
says McFarfitch, but it doesn't.
Is that him?
Yeah.
Good boy.
There you go. That's a good one.
You're now in Joe's phone as Douche Nozzle
Well,
McFarland.
my phone name is Turk Ferguson. That's my name.
Oh, nice.
So just to kind of recap, because he does actually have a gig and he's got to go get
Okay.
set up. You
didn't
said
really talk
earlier
about
that I
your
make
work,
the
right?
better meatballs than Joe Stiber. That's been
But
cemented.
not better than me.
You don't even make them.
I
You're
can't
not even
wait.
Italian.
I
We've
can't
covered this.
Wait.
What
No.
does that mean? Wait a second.
You
Hold on.
freak.
I will tell you
can't
that my
wait for
grandmother on my dad's side was from Italy.
We're doing
Italy.
Likely story.
Only spoke Italian. She didn't even speak English.
Joe Stiber wants actual records.
Because I'm not purebred.
from
please.
Ellis Island.
Listen to
We
me.
actually did that here.
I'm bringing it.
Yeah, but you were kind of funny that you tried mine on Christmas Eve and sent a picture of you eating my meatball to Joe.
And what happened?
Then he said, "Come and taste mine; they're better."
So
or
they
something.
both had meatballs,
Maybe Jason.
and they were like, so I literally went out of my way to Joe's house and
Out
tried
of
his
your way. He
meatballs
lives
that night.
36 seconds from me.
No, we were going somewhere else.
Oh, that's right. There's people waiting for us at. Oh, there's like 6 people. We have a table with 6 other people for you already. So at least at a minimum, there's going to be 8 people there for you.
8 people.
That's a good show. What is your nerd question
Here's the
for
thing.
Robert?
I
Yes.
had two,
Is
you
hold on
forgot.
one sec. Is that I make really good meatballs,
Mm-hmm.
but I really make good crab bisque.
Well, that based off of that picture the other day,
It's really-
that looked pretty banging. What is your nerd
I
question?
had 2 nerd questions.
All right.
I'll answer first.
Go ahead.
Who or what, as far as a song, made you want to play the drums?
Who or what, as far as a musician or
Like
a
you were
song,
like, I want to play
made
the
Bobby
drums.
want to play drums?
So
That
those
is-
people that have seen me play drums and seen me play what we're going to talk about already know this if they're watching this. But my dad had a 45 collection. He was a DJ, and after we got done eating dinner, our pastimes at my house when I was growing up were my dad was
Did you know my dad was a DJ?
No.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
He was a mobile
the radio
DJ.
Or?
No. Mobile, like weddings and parties and stuff.
So my dad as well.
Yeah.
My dad did the same thing.
It's so crazy.
And he would have his turntables in there, and this was like when dual turntables were like brand new. It was like the thing. It was like not in it was like new. And he would just flip through these 45s, and he'd put one on there and then put one on there. But there was this gold record. And I was like maybe like 5 or 6 years old, and I would just be like, play the gold record. And my dad would be like, all right, not right now, because they were tired of it at this point. Every day I'm like, play the gold record, play the gold record. Does anybody know what the gold record is? Was it
Elvis?
Well, he would put that record on there, and he would take the needle, and he would move it, and he would drop it down. It was like
Oh, we're an American band.
That's it. We are an American
You're such
band.
a good drummer that I knew from your mouth drumming.
Yeah, he did very good with his mouth drumming.
He really did.
Real good.
He really did.
You did really good with your mouth.
You did really good with your mouth drumming.
I had a tattoo done.
That could be a new game.
And Bob.
Instead of Singo,
Bob, was that
Bobby?
Was that when it first came out, or was that after?
No. When did that record come out? Was it 70?
Mid 70s?
Yeah. So I probably was actually like, I was born in the 70s, so,
Yeah. So mid.
It was when that record was brand new.
Wow. Next time we play Singo at the Ribby, make one round. You have to do all the songs using your mouth drums.
That's a good idea.
And Richie has to make like wow, like guitar songs.
I always hate them.
So I had this tattoo that I wanted to do. I already had like this drum going around my arm, and I wanted to do this tribute to like some drummers that have influenced me in my, career and my quest. And I didn't want them to be autographed, so I had to come up with a symbol for everybody. That's kind of cool. The drummer in Grand Funk Railroad, his name's Don Brewer, so I had a mug of brew, or like a beer mug, and everybody's always like, who's that? And then when I say Don Brewer, nobody really knows who it is, and I'm just like, because that's what started it for me, that cowbell and that intro fill, and it wasn't like, what is it, Stargazer? It wasn't Stargazer. Wasn't that? I didn't know that song then, but
that's good.
That's it. It's
a good question, babe. What's your second one?
Well, it's going to get cut, but I just thought of it.
It won't get cut. What is it?
The second one was, you said your first concert was Flick of the Switch tour.
Mm-hmm.
What songs from Flick of the Switch did they play?
Well, the one that they played for me that I really liked was Snowbound.
They played Snowbound.
They did play Snowbound, and I love Snowbound. And they played Flick of the Switch, obviously.
They're talking about Bobby's first concert being Flick of the Switch by
Snowbound was a much better song to me than
again, I did ask him to be on the podcast. He chose not to.
What's that?
I'm talking to the fans since you two are having a conversation. And by fans, I mean all three people that are watching, that'll watch this. All right, so...
Listen, it is up to you.
It is up to you.
I told her that we would get 500 views. So you have to share. Even if you only watch 1 minute, it counts as a view.
It does.
So you could watch 1 minute and then share it with your fans.
But Bobby, more importantly, what we also need are people that are interested in sponsoring our cornhole event.
Can we talk about, because we didn't even really, that was the whole reason for all this.
No. The reason is because I wanted you to be here. Yeah. So, April 28th is our second annual Sunday Funday Cornhole Tournament.
Because I got questions.
Barbecue and award ceremony. Hold on. Please stop. Thank you.
I'm trying to get you.
Last year we had an amazing time. I had it in June, but there was a lot of overlapping, like overscheduling. People had weddings, graduations, so we moved it to April, which gives me a little bit less time to get everything together, but it occurs during Autism Acceptance Month, so the tie-in is perfect. And when I was thinking of what band, who do I want to be the live music for this particular event, and I'm very blessed. I have I would say Rolodex, but that'll age me. But, I have a cell phone filled with unbelievable musicians. Hell, well, I don't know about that. People love Jake. There's a big difference. Well, people tolerate me. They love Jake. I mean, we have the Vinyl Closet House Band. I could have asked them to do it too, but they're going to be coming off. They're going to be getting prepared for the She 4 Festival. So it just seemed like last year I had Malone, which everybody loved, and I wanted something a shade different, but still kind of to fit the vibe of a spring summer event, indoor outdoor, and I was like, I want Sidearm because that's, I want people to experience the bands that we love so much, and Sidearm is absolutely top tier. So right now I extended it through midnight on the 20th. I extended the early bird special.
Now this is where I wanted to come in because I was so. Can you explain what the deal is right now? And then because my question is I saw a price that you had, but what if somebody didn't want to play cornhole? Can they still go?
Yes, they could. Okay. Cornhole is just one of the featured things that you get it with your. It's a for fun tournament. So last year, a lot of people ended up playing, but some people didn't. But for that money, you're still getting, beer and wine, the signature cocktail.
So it's the same whether you play or not.
It is. I'm not charging extra for the cornhole. Gotcha. I'm kind of throwing it in.
Totally.
So what you're getting? No, yeah. So what you're getting is right now, if you get your tickets, they're $75 a person. They go up to $100 a person. And what that does is it helps us cover the cost of the venue, the food, the booze, the prizes, the raffle baskets, all of the other stuff that costs money to put an event like this on. The buffet is a barbecue buffet, but it's not just burgers and hot dogs. There's like a delicious cauliflower sandwich for people that I was very conscious of the non-meat eaters.
Well, now she's like, oh, I wasn't gonna go.
Yeah, she was. So it's a great Sunday. There's silent auction for some really cool sports memorabilia, the basket raffles, cornhole, sidearm. Our award ceremony where you get to see us acknowledge the associates and the volunteers and the board members and the community partnerships that really kind of drive our mission forward. So there's a lot. And I've had people say, $100, that's a steep ticket. And I'm like, is it though? Because, people spend $50 on a Stanley Cup, meaning the water cup. That helps no one but the Stanley Company. This will carry us through the rest of the spring and the summer into the fall when we have our golf.
So this is raising money for
Jake's Baristas.
Okay, and that allows you to do other events throughout the year.
It allows us to do what we do to employ special needs.
All that?
To employ the special needs teams and adults.
I'm going to put this out there a little bit more for people that know me and maybe don't know Ange as much. So can you just tell them a little bit about that so that, they have they know what this would be? Because
absolutely.
Maybe some of them would. So,
and we'll share the link to the actual event page that's on social media because our mission statement is in there. But my husband and I have had this record store since 2011. So whatever the math is there, 14 years or so. And in 2020, during the pandemic, we had to shut down. Our son, who is an adult with autism, at the time he was 19, he was in a vocational program through the high school. But because we were shut down, he couldn't go to school. He was losing a lot of the skills that are vital, right? And that's just basic communication skills. That's just social interaction. So we decided to do a curbside coffee cart one Saturday afternoon during COVID. It was a May. We opened it up and just said, Barista Jake is going to live out his dream, jokingly, because we always called him Barista Jake at home because he loved to make coffee for his father. He has his father on a pedestal unlike no other, and it's a beautiful story. So very deserving. He's a fantastic father. So, long story short, we really saw Jake thrive in that environment. We donated 100% of the proceeds to charity. We did it again a month later. Same thing. We reserved a little bit of the money and had a friend of ours build this big cart that's behind me. With the intent of we were going to put it in the front of our old store, which is 2 doors down, much smaller, half the space of what we have now. And I thought, well, Jake will just do that on the weekends sometimes when he's there. It'll give him something to do. But it kind of snowballed. The community rallied around him and us. He started expressing interest in things and detail in the coffee making process that we had no idea he had even known. And again, still COVID, but once our restrictions were lifted, we did sort of a soft opening for him, and he sold more coffee that day than Jason did records. Now, I say sold, but for the first 2 years, it was sort of a pay what you want concept because I didn't have an official nonprofit. I didn't have the food service license. So, but once we became legit, we started, baby. Yeah, 501, 501c3. We started doing charity partnerships with other nonprofits in the community. So to date, we have donated over $55,000 in cash, supplies, gift cards to community-based charities, never a large corporate charity because they're not the ones that need your help. People like us do. But in the last year and a half, I've had to rein the outward donations in because, well, bottom line, I spent all of our personal money on this business. So now, So now, we need the support to keep our mission going. We employ between 12 and 15 special needs young adults and teens, and in like a rotating program. Some of them do 2 hours a week. Some of them might do 2 hours a month, whatever their availability is. We give them vocational skills. We work with them on their resume. There's a lot of social skill opportunities. Every Wednesday we do Kindness Wednesday with Barista Jake, where we bring the community into the environment where the special needs associates are. And it really allows sort of almost like a cross-pollination, right? Like people that maybe have never had any experience with somebody with special needs. And I'm not excluding any special need. It's not just people on the spectrum. Although that is our son's diagnosis, he's also got severe anxiety and severe ADHD, which oftentimes is harder to manage than his autism. I know, I'm watching. So we have 2 large fundraisers a year. We do one now in the spring, which is this Cornhole Tournament, and we do a golf outing in the fall. So what we're promoting now is the Cornhole Tournament. So where does that $100 ticket price?
What does that get it early?
No, right. If you get it early, it's $75. But
right now it's $75.
Right now it's $75. But where does it get? What does it get you? It gets you a meal. It gets you cocktails. It gets you live entertainment. It gets you cornhole. It gets you to feel good about the way you're spending your Sunday. Seeing the benefit and the value. And look, I love to spend my money on stupid stuff, right? But I'm also the first one to recognize this is something that could be more beneficial with my dollars.
I mean, listen, for me, I've worked with what I feel are like the best people doing this stuff in the area, whether it's the A-Team, whether it's Rotation Records, right, and Rotation Gives, Joe. I mean, I've never really seen anybody like really devoted. I would put these people in the same bracket as those people of we're just trying to do some good. And if you feel that, if you're struggling right now, then this isn't for you. Time.
No, but guess what? They can share it.
Yeah, that's the whole thing I was getting at is maybe this isn't for you. I get it. I mean, this is really to raise money to fund an entire year of giving and doing. I mean, they have a coffee truck that goes to other charitable events that offers coffee to people that they don't really get any kickback from any of that. So this is a help buy supplies for all of that stuff to occur.
Correct.
And, unfortunately, it takes money to do that stuff. And most of the time they're taking this money out of their pocket that they really need to put a roof over their kids' heads. In their own heads. So
yeah.
Listen, if you feel, and I just wanted her to explain that because not everybody knows the story, and listen, we all want to know where our money is going, and I 100% know that 100% of what is going to go from this is going to go towards that.
Yeah, because it's also very important to disclose that neither Jacob nor I take any compensation. So, is that a long-term goal for us? Yes, it has to be. Otherwise, I'm going to have to go back to, I left a corporate job making six figures to kind of bet on myself and bet on my kid and go all in with the unwavering support of my husband, who has been, fundamentally helping us and bankrolling this since day one. Why does he do it? For our son. Because if you knew Jacob prior to 2020 and you met Jacob today, they are two completely different young men. At age 19, when we started this, to Jacob now at 23, he's worlds apart. And and the other thing, it kind of bringing it full circle, last year at the Secret Santa CJ event at the Rib House, the guest bartender, Jake gravitated to you, and you really kind of watched out for him last year, and I appreciate. And then this past year he did it again, but he was a little bit more comfortable because he knew a couple more people. So, the fact that you faced rush hour traffic, you came here before your gig, and you're doing this for me. I know, and you're doing this for me, and you guys are playing our benefit, means the world to me. Yeah. I'm so appreciative. But you've got a lot of other cool things happening too. So let's wrap it up with some plugs. You've got the show with Calico on the 28th at Screwballs. Mm-hmm. Yeah. You can follow Sidearm and see their schedule. They play 5 out of 7 days a week usually, right?
Yeah, I wish it was that busy right now. I'm trying.
Hey, if you're a venue, book Sidearm.
yeah.
There you go.
Gigs.
But I mean, even when he's not with Sidearm, you'll catch him from time to time playing with Mike Greer or doing Singo at the Rib House or something. So follow them. Come to Brian's benefit March 10th at Tom and Jerry's. It's a benefit for his dog.
I have tickets for that if you want to.
Okay.
It's $20 in advance, 25-day show.
And Ben and Tom, did I call it Ben and Jerry's? I bet I did because I'm a fatty and that's what I was thinking.
No, but I mean I'm in for something.
Yeah, me too, right? I have donuts. What I was going to say is Tom and Jerry's has the best roast beef fries. I don't know what they're called, but
I'm going to give you the trick though, because you don't have the trick. There's no way you have the trick.
What's the trick?
What's the trick when you order it? Like if you know the trick, then you already do it. When you order gravy fries, how do you order it? Just you order gravy fries?
Yeah.
Then that's not the trick.
Well, what's the trick?
The trick is you get the gravy on the side and you get the fries well done.
Oh, that's even better.
Is that the fries are not soggy. Get that crispy ass fry in there.
Listen, now I'm hungry. Now I'm going to Tom and Jerry's just for that. I mean, you're the benefit to that too. But so, thank you very much. If you are interested in playing cornhole, I will put or joining us for the day. You don't have to play cornhole. If you're just interested in seeing what it's all about, coming out, having a great meal, Gatsby's and the SunnyBroook Ballroom do an amazing job. The executive chef there, Scott, is chef's kiss, pun intended. Great drinks. My signature cocktail this year is going to be a honeybee, which is a honey bourbon lemonade cocktail.
I'm thinking
it's going to be delicious. Well, last year was mimosas and bloodies. Yeah, he is actually. He makes a really good apple pie martini or something. Anywho, so we'll post everything below, but please consider joining us. And if you can't, but you maybe want to donate a raffle basket, we will take that. If you are a business owner and you're interested in sponsorship, please reach out to me. I'll put that down there. We're looking for sponsors. Melissa from the Rib House last night just gave me her check. She's going to be one of our table sponsors for the second year in a row. So that touches my heart. And, if nothing else, Yeah, it's $100, but you get to see Sidearm.
Oh,
Who wouldn't pay $100 to see Sidearm?
yeah, it's a bargain.
Sure, when I go to, I'm probably going to spend $100 to see you tonight.
You are going to spend.
Because I'm going to buy dinner and drinks.
And you're going to have to buy me dinner now.
I'm probably going to have to pay
You're
for
probably going to
dinner
have to
too.
bribe my guys because you kept me here so long.
Sorry, guys.
I thought when you told the story, it was going to be like 5 minutes.
I'm sorry.
It's an amazing story, though, and I love it. And I don't ever want to stop it. So
I know. All right. So thank you guys very much. We will do this again. I love you too, baby. And what's that? I'm your favorite person on the planet.
It'd be so funny if the mics weren't on the whole entire time.
No, they were.
I will literally crack the fuck up. Is it all right?
Yes, it was very good.